Good afternoon and welcome to our information session for special education. Today is June 3rd, 2025. We are recording the session. Please be sure that you have your microphone muted. Thank you. Great. We have about 44 people with us right now. I know we'll have a few more joining us, but I'll go ahead and start with our agenda slide. First, we'll be hearing from Brian Denny from Florence One Schools. They have a program highlight to show their assistive technology program. And then Madalena Tudora has some assistive technology updates to talk with us about. Then OSIS updates. Lisa McClimate will update us on the educational interpreter regulation. And Michelle Williams-Young will give us the dates for technical assistance sessions that she will be offering. She and her team will be offering this summer. And then SC Teams will be giving their updates, the Academic Alliance for South Carolina and South Carolina Partnerships for Inclusion. So first up, Brian Denny, would you like to unmute your mic? And you're also welcome to come off, put your camera on too, so people can see you.
Yeah, I would rather them see the 16-year-old version of me than the 49-year-old version.
The 49, okay.
So the video that you're going to show is just a small snippet of what we do in Florence One for assistive technology. We really have you really have to have a great team of people that know what they're doing and are able to quickly meet the needs of students and are quickly able to ascertain what the students' needs are. And not only do I think we have a great team, I think we have the best team. I can't say enough about the people that work with me. I don't want to say for me, that work with me. They make me look really good. You know, the best assistive technology team that you can find is one that's smarter than you, and that wasn't hard for me to find. But they're wonderful. They go and I try to stay out of their way. I just try not to tell them no. They really look for ways to truly assist students, not to do things for them. I say in the video that assistive technology is giving a voice sometimes to the voiceless, and I truly mean that. And I've been in this district as in my position. I'm the assistant superintendent for special needs. I've been in this position since 2006, and we've had really have seen where we've had nothing to what we have now. And it's incredible how quickly we've moved when we had all the right people in place. And I just can't say enough about the people. And these students, you get to the point where you reach students in a way that you didn't think you could before. There are things inside them that you didn't know that were there. And so it's just so great to see that. There's a student on this video that has tetraamelia syndrome, which he was born with no arms and no legs. And so with assistive technology, he's able to use a Chromebook and to participate just like everyone else. And so that, which is the whole point of this technology, is to make them feel as close to as everyone else as we possibly can, and to participate in general education as much as we can. So I've got, I don't know if they're on here now, I've got my three supervisors, Amy, Courtney, and Amanda, and Shelley Stokes, who's over our, oh my gosh, she's over our related services, and that falls under her. And she does a great job of directing that team. And they, again, I just try to stay out of their way and tell them yes to everything that they need, because I know when they come to me, these students really need all these things. And I don't even, want to pretend that I understand what all these devices are and how they work. But it's interesting when you go to high technology to low tech, and how special each thing is and how much it helps each student to participate. So, but anyway, that's really all I have to say. But
Okay. Shall go ahead and start the video, or do some of your other folks want to have? Do they want to have something to say?
yeah, they could certainly chime in. I don't know if they want to or not. I don't know if they're all here, but
Okay.
yeah, the video is very short. It's about 2.5 minutes. It's something that our superintendent likes to just highlight different programs and let the just let our community and our public know here's some things that we do that you probably don't know about, and you probably wouldn't know about unless you have a child that has this assistive technology or has something like this, and or that you see but you didn't know we were doing that in our schools. And the great thing is we don't have just one school. This is across every school. This is across our preschool. This is across our high schools, our middle schools, everywhere. So,
Great. Okay. Thank you, Brian.
yep.
Is my friend Libba Moore able to help me with this? What am I doing wrong, dear?
There, I think you have to press Control to get it to open. I'm not sure if you are.
I am. Maybe stop sharing and let me see. I apologize, folks. I practiced this and hang on just a moment. Okay, got a second. Another idea. Okay, just a moment.
It's unique because it really starts as a culture.
Assistive technology is really a simplistic term in my estimation. It's really is providing a voice to the voiceless.
Florence One Schools uses innovative, state-of-the-art technology to enhance the communication of their students.
My daughter Subi, she has cerebral palsy and she is technically legally blind, and so she's nonverbal. And we were really trying to find a way to get her to be able to communicate what was inside of her.
One of the devices would be a computer that's controlled through eye gaze. So it's able to track their eyes so that they're able to participate, answer questions, but also they access voice output software, so a communication app. So if our students don't have a voice, they're able to use that as their voice to communicate.
We have tons of accessible equipment like adapted spinners for playing board games. We have adapted paint spinners for actually crafts.
We would come from no technology all the way to iPads that speak for children to these devices where children can see things that they couldn't see before.
Florence One Schools is doing a great job in including our students in the general education setting, giving them opportunities to play sports and to participate in music performances.
It gives them a voice, it gives them power in words, it gives them ability to share their wants and thoughts.
Our teachers that work with students that have assistive technology say, gosh, I've taught the students so much more, they've learned so much more.
Financial barriers are never a concern, really, because we have so many resources and even community resources.
I weekly see them finding new ways and opportunities for students, even like Subi, to find ways to be integrated into our community, feel accepted and loved, and just understand that they have a place.
Thank you, Brian, for sharing that with us. Does anyone have any questions for Brian? Or if any of the coordinators are on, if they would like to speak it up and share anything? No? Okay, thanks so much, Brian. We appreciate you sharing this with us.
Thank you.
Okay, absolutely. Madalena Tudora, you are next.
Thank you. And I wanted to say thank you as well to Florence One. They really have been putting a lot of resources in place, both human and technology resources. And they have been highlighted several times within our efforts to put information out there about districts that are doing good things in terms of accessibility and assistive technology capacity building. And with that in mind, I just wanted to put this information out to whoever's interested. This is coming up in the fall, so feel free to disseminate. It's a UDL training series that I scheduled for about an hour, 3 weeks in a row. So it's a 3-part series. And if you know folks that may be interested, or if you were interested in rolling this out to certain groups in your district, but these dates and times do not work for you, please feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to work with you to schedule something that works for you if you're interested in the topic. I will focus primarily on how UDL aligns with assistive technology and accessibility best practices, and also looking at strategies and ready-to-use resources in this area. Let me know. Feel free to register. Feel free to pass it on. There will be more opportunities for additional trainings and additional resources coming up closer to August. But I wanted to put this out right away. Thank you.
Thank you, Madalena. Next, we have Lisa McClimate, and she's going to talk to us about the educational interpreter regulation.
Thanks, Sarah. Well, we had to do a lot of compromising with the interpreter regulations, but actually the regulations, you'll see that they go into effect January of 26, but they will not actually begin until the start of the 26-27 school year. And they'll require that EPA score of 3.5 or above, the high school diploma, and 80 hours of professional development every 4 years, and the background check. Just recommendations that we have for you, is, let us know if there's issues. There are, some districts have given us some suggestions for virtual interpreters. I think it's giving us 1.5 years to, beef up professional development and get some EPA testing sessions scheduled so that maybe this won't be, hit us as hard, giving us that extra year. So any questions, just reach out, and, however we can help, we're happy to do that. Thanks, Sarah. And I think one more thing, Sarah, I think it was maybe a couple sessions back, in one of the PowerPoints was that Sarah had listed all kinds of online professional development resources that were coming up over the summer and in the fall. So those are out there too. Thank you.
Sure. Lisa, did you want to speak to the slide about the video?
That's right.
That's okay.
With the video remote interpreting, because we know that that's, districts have already had to use remote interpreting when they can't find in person, and just some best practices. Is if you have to do that, a best practice that we've done some research on, and that your in-person interpreters, if you're able to put those with your, K to 2, kiddos that are starting to read, um, that's a stronger area that needs in person, using more of your virtual interpreters for your high school kids that already do read, might be something to think about. And Sarah's listed some companies that offer virtual remote interpreting services.
Yep. Thanks, Lisa. And I did just put over in the chat. I mean, that's not an exhaustive list, of course,
Right.
and there's many others. So if somebody in the audience uses a different company, if they would type that in the chat, that would be helpful for everybody. But for us, we'll start keeping a running list of all the different companies. The one that says purple reminds me of a mattress, but I'm pretty sure it is video remote interpreting. Okay, Michelle Williams-Young, you are next to talk about your TA sessions.
Okay, thank you so much, Sarah. Good afternoon, everyone. The Fiscal and Grants Management team will be hosting a couple of training sessions in person in July. One will focus on parentally placed private school children, the policies and procedures, and help you with the development of them. Some of the topics will be defining the population, PPPSC regulations and requirements, proportionate share, actually developing your policy, planning and delivery equitable services, and monitoring and tracking your PPPSC expenditures. This came out of our monitoring over the last couple of years, and that seems to be an area that a lot of districts request additional TA with. So this is our way of doing that this summer. We'll send out flyers with registration information. And of course, since this is a actual kind of hands-on policy development session, it will be limited to no more than 15. So it'll be first come, first serve with that. Next slide, please. And the second session that we will do will be held Thursday, July 24th. Again, that will be on site here at the new Department of Education building. We'll hear, this one is directed at either new directors or bookkeepers. It's a little bit more intensive session. We normally get, I don't know, an hour, hour and a half at new directors, but this is more intensive where participants can ask questions. It can be a lot more interactive. So here we'll talk about budgeting, prepping for budgeting, the GAP system, more on allowable costs. That seems to be a really interactive session when we do that. The maintenance of effort requirement, excess costs, PPPSC, and procurement. Now, this is also directed at bookkeepers as well. So feel free to have either new directors or bookkeepers from your district come to this one. And again, this one is will require registration. It will be a bigger number, a larger number of participants will be allowed to register for this. So I think our boardroom downstairs holds about 82 to 85. So that will be the number that we'll do for that. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, but look for the email notification that will be coming out hopefully sometime next week. Thank you very much. Thanks, Sarah.
Yep, thanks, Michelle. Okay, on to SC Teams. Deanna Parrish.
Good afternoon, everyone. We hope to see many of you next week in Columbia for the SC Teams Summer University event. But we also wanted to share with you some professional learning opportunities that Academic Alliance is planning for the upcoming school year. So you can go forward for me, Sarah. Thank you. We had great feedback from our MTSS Summit that we've held for the past 2 years. So we're going to expand that and have a series. And so this series will begin in September and be monthly for several months into, I think we finish up in March. So if you're a district level person who works with English, writing, math, assessment. This may be something you want to target to attend. General and special education instructional coaches will benefit from this, especially with helping students succeed in inclusive environments. So special education teachers are absolutely our target audience too. And any transformation team members, if your school is working with the subgroup under ATSI for students with disabilities. So the next slide just gives you an overview of what's offered each month, the dates, and most locations are in and around Columbia. We'll send that out closer to the dates, but we're starting off with UDL, and then we're going to the high intensity math strategies, data. We're doing reading. February is writing, and then March we'll finish up with intensifying intervention. So on the next slide, if you aren't connected to us already and you want updates on when things are happening and where things are happening, please join our mailing list. We only send out information, a newsletter once a month, but it'll have all these wonderful things in it. And if you are on our mailing list, it went out yesterday, I believe, or today, and you can sign up to get alerts for the first MTSS Summit series on UDL when that information comes out. So we hope you'll, as you're planning for the new year, you'll add some of these dates to your calendars. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Deanna. Next, we have Carrie Kannengeiser.
Good afternoon, everyone. Deanna just mentioned Summer University. We know that some of you are joining us for our sessions. And just a reminder, Wednesday morning at 9 a.m., we are doing a session all around the early childhood performance factor. And whether you're able to join us or you're unable to join us, we will also be hosting a follow-up webinar. It will be shorter. The session's 3 hours, the webinar is only an hour, but on the 23rd at 11. And I'll pop a link in the chat for registration, and then we will get that on our website soon. We wanted to make sure you were aware of that. And in addition to that, if you're looking for more resources around early childhood indicators and the performance factor, we do have some resources available. If you'll go to the next slide, Sarah. We have a recorded webinar series that's 4 parts that we did a year or so ago around using the Division for Early Childhood of the Council for Exceptional Children's recommended practices to meet the early childhood indicators. So early childhood environments, preschool outcomes, and early childhood transition. And then we are also working on an additional resource that we hope to share with you soon. And we're also going to be seeking feedback at our session and at the webinar to make sure that we're meeting your needs. So please let us know what it is you want from us to help you really unpack that early childhood performance indicator and what supports that you'd like. And then just another reminder, if you'll go to the next slide, Sarah, about our Early Childhood Inclusion Conference in September. We have extended the call for proposals to next Monday. I know you guys have a lot going on and it's summer, but if you would love to present, we would love to have you all because we know you're doing such fabulous things at your districts. Florence, Brian, I'm calling you out. That was a lovely presentation that y'all did. If you want to submit something on assistive technology, we would love to consider that. And just to let you know, registration for Early Bird will also be opening next week, so you can check out our website. And like Deanna said, you can also subscribe to our newsletter for updates, and we try not to spam you all either. So I'll put the link in the chat for that. Next slide, please. Oh, you're already on it. And something new for this year is our Growing Strong District distinction. We know that there are some fabulous things happening, and we really want to celebrate the teams that are making progress, building strong foundations to improve outcomes for young children and families in our states. So that is also on the website, and it's going out through all of our social media and communications, and we're accepting nominations through August 15th. And we would really just love to recognize what you all are doing at your early learning programs in the district. And lastly, just an update from our partners at Pyramid Pieces. We have a new resource coming soon, CORE, which is Connect on Reframing Expectations. And this is a 6-session virtual early childhood behavior series for district teams to advance developmentally appropriate early childhood behavior guidance. And really the purpose of this is to review evidence-based strategies that inform understanding preschool behavior and apply pyramid model principles and practices to prevent and respond to challenging behaviors when supporting teachers, families, and children. And this is for any district team that has an early learning program, and kind of the minimum for a team would be at least 1 administrator and 1 early childhood leader, and districts can register up to 4 participants on the application. So that's the QR code for the application. They will also be hosting an information session webinar on June 17th at 10 a.m., which I'll get you that information so you can hear more from them about this opportunity. And please, if you have questions, feel free to let us know. Thanks for your time today, everybody.
Thanks so much, Carrie. Well, those are the end. That is the end of our slide presentations. We will not be meeting July 1st, but we will see you again July 15th. If anyone has any questions, feel free to either put them in the chat or unmute now and ask your question now, or some of us always end up staying after others leave the meeting. So we'll see you then. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Hey,
Have a good evening.
Sarah, I think there may be one on the, it will be on the 17th of June, but we won't have the July 1 one. But
Oh, I missed a whole month. Yeah, sorry about that.
so the next session is the 17th of June, and then we won't have one on July 1st because schools typically don't have a lot of people in on that July weekend, so or that July week. So
Thank you, Peter. I will update that, and I'll also send it out in an email so people don't misremember
Okay.
that. Thanks.
Sounds good. Thanks.